Hi everybody, we're just going to kick it off here. So welcome to our session, Grading and Feedback in Canvas. My name is Lauren Maher and I'm going to be here to help you with your training today. I also have my colleague Roisin Garvey online with us as well. So if you have any questions or queries, just pop them into the Q&A or the chat, whether you're watching on Zoom or YouTube, and one of us get back to you throughout the session then. So yeah, welcome. So I'll just give you a brief run through of what we're going to be looking at today. So obviously our session is on grading and feedback in Canvas. It's obviously particularly relevant right now to anybody that's starting to do the corrections. So throughout this session, we're going to have a look at the gradebook. So a few different settings in there, submission options and results. We have speed grader, we're going to have a look through there. So kind of same thing, the different interface options, providing feedback, there's a variety of things around SpeedGrader. We're going to have a look at the originals. This is our plagiarism detection software. So I'll bring you through there and we'll have a look at accessing the reports and interpreting those reports as well. And then finishing up then we're going to have a look at quizzes and we're going to have a look at the different moderate section and how to adjust scores there. And then we'll wrap up with just how to release grades and grade posting policy. So I'll just kick off straight into it there. So the first thing we're going to have a look at is the grade book. So I'm just going to go into one of our modules in Canvas here. So this is just a test module that we use for our training sessions. So the first thing you can see here is the home page, which is also, it looks a lot like the unit section. So this kind of typically how a module looks, but they can vary, so it doesn't have to look like this, but this kind of like the standard or the one that we see most common. So along the side here, then you have your options, your menu items here, your different kind of areas that you can go into. So you see your Zoom, your units. So we're going to go into our grade section here. And this is going to open up then our grade book. So your grade book will always look like this, depending on how many assignments and quizzes and that you have. This can get very long. So a common question we get is someone can't see something that's here. So a way to fix that, you can zoom out, you can see there's more. Or what you can do is you can just use your slider there at the bottom and scroll across and you can see them all. And then you can see this very last column then will be the total score then for that student. So let's bring it back here to the start. So you can see we have all our student names. So you can see what section they belong to inside the module there. And then we can see obviously our list of assignments and quizzes here. So if we go to each box here, so each box will represent a quiz or assignment and form assessment. We can see here whether or not it has been published or unpublished or published, whether it's available to the students, and then we can see their scores that they've gotten in that assignment or in that quiz. So if you need to manually adjust some scores, say for instance, now Fahi, if that was 100 there, but actually I thought like 98 was a more accurate score from, I can just change that there. And same, I can go through and pick and choose if I need to adjust the scores inside the gradebook at any time. So you can see I can just pop that in there and it just adjusts that score for me. So that's just how we can adjust the scores from inside the gradebook then. And then so once you've adjusted them, it'll automatically update the total area there as well. So that's just worth knowing. And then just to show you very briefly here then, so we have our options inside each assessment. So if I just pick the first one here, webinar 1, if I click on these options, so I have a variety of settings here. So I can sort them. I can sort them by grade low to high, if they're missing or if they're late. I can get into SpeedGrader from here as well for this particular assignment. I'm going to go through SpeedGrader next, so I'll skip that for a second. We have our message students who, so this is helpful. If we click on that here, we can see we want to message students who haven't submitted for this assignment yet, or we can change that to anyone who hasn't been graded or if they scored less than or scored more than. So this be helpful if anybody scored less than a passing grade. I could put that in here and I could message them and just say, we're going to do a makeup assignment for this if you'd like to do it, or variety of things you can put in. If somebody scored more than, you can, well done, this is great work. Someone hasn't submitted yet, you can say still waiting the submission, you've another couple of days to submit or something like that. So that's nice and handy just to send out a message to all there. Next thing that I just want to show you in this settings option here is your post grades section. So I'll come back to this at the end, but while I'm here, I just want to highlight it that this is how we post our grades. We also have this option. Obviously, we can enter the grades as points or percentages. And then we have our download submissions option here as well. So if I click to download those submissions, it will start downloading them for me. If I wanted to work offline for any reason, I could then use my own software to annotate them, mark them, give feedback. And then what I can do is if I come back in here, I can re-upload the submissions. So once, I've downloaded this, it comes here into my downloads. Once I've given all the relevant feedback that I want to, I can then re-upload those submissions then. So that's just worth knowing there. And then also we've our grade posting policy. So I'll come back to those two things about posting grades at the very end. Perfect. So that's kind of all the immediate stuff that I just wanted to point out in the gradebook here. A couple of small other things then. So you can see here that this is an original assignment. So we have these colored blocks. So you might be wondering what those are. So these blocks are just giving me a very brief indication of the original plagiarism detection score. So we're going to go into original in a bit more detail in a couple of minutes, but just from a very quick glance here at the gradebook, I see, this is my original assignment. Niall Fahey got a good, nice green plagiarism score there. So, there's low levels of plagiarism in his assignment that he submitted. And then, on the other hand, you have Lauren and Roisin here. There was quite high levels of plagiarism then. So that's just let me kind of get a very quick indication of that then. So the next thing we do then, so if I click here, I can get this little pop out here on the side. So this will open whether or not it has the green box. So if I even go to Mary, who didn't submit her original, I've just added to her score there. I still press that same button there and it'll pop out this side for me. So then I can set the status here. So you have obviously we've late, which is blue, missing in red, or excused in yellow. So you could mark those there just so you can very quickly see these things, or pop it back to none then. If I need to add a comment, such as, Mary had was excused from this assignment or something, and then I can input the grade there then if I need to as well. And so this is another way then that we can enter our speed grader area from here. So this one way we can get to it. Another way we can get to it is here. So those are the two ways that you can enter the speed grader from inside the gradebook. So yeah, I think the best thing to do now would just be to enter speed grader and we can have a look through there. Yeah, I'll do it for this assignment. I think that should be okay. So when we open the speed grader then, so we can see whatever will be here in this side is whatever the student has submitted. So you can see here for not FAE, this is just a test module, as I said. So we've just asked them to submit something in there. So this is obviously a document that he submitted that he's found online. And so we can see the different variety of things here. So I can see here, it's been submitted to original. It's my original assignment. So there is plagiarism detection set up for this assignment. And because of this, then I can see this little box here, and this gives me a very quick indication of the similarity score. So if I want to have a more detailed look at the similarity score for original, I would click there and it'll bring me in. We are going to do that in this session, but I'll just come back to it shortly. So then another thing we can do, so grade out of 100, we can give them a mark there. We can add some comments. So you can see here, excellent was comments just for the overall. And inside speed grader then, so if we want to give some individual feedback, this is a nice way of doing it here. So you can see this text here has been highlighted. The comment here says provide further details. Same here, we've highlighted this one, great work, very well researched. You can see here this has been crossed out, so personal opinions not backed up by the research. And this just like a little dot asking, provide further details. So you can add each of those things by just clicking on these things along the top here, okay? So you have this, how you can add in your point annotation. You can just pop in a point and ask a question here. And we have the highlighter tool. We can choose different colors and highlight it. And then if we choose to, then we can click here to add a comment. And then if we need to, change the color, then we can. So that's green, sorry, and then I can pop, this one to pink then. So there's a huge variety of different things there that you can add. And then, so that's just an easy way then to provide feedback, to annotate it as you go. You can add a bit of free text in there as well. You can, as I said, you can cross out some of the text that they've added if you think that's what needs to be. So there's a huge different variety of things that you can do there to provide feedback using the speed grader tool. So yeah, I think that's everything that I want to show you there. Obviously, we also have our download submission comments. So once we're finished with all our comments and everything, if we want to download that, we can. There's the option there. What we can also do is we can upload a file, an attachment, a media, or you can add speech recognition as well. So there are just a couple of different things that we can add as a comment as well. So that's just worth knowing there. So next thing I'll bring you in and show you then is original. So as we can see here, for Niall's assignment, he got a similar score of 8.8. It's shown as green, so that's really good. What I can do then is if I just use these arrows here at the top, this is how I can flick back and forth between submissions while in SpeedGrader. So we can see here we're on Niall's. If I go forward again, I can see my own one there. So same kind of thing, I've just uploaded something random here. So I can see my plagiarism score here at a quick look, it's 97.72. So that's what we could, or we were kind of getting indicated there, where our red and green boxes. So that's what I was trying to show you before. Niall's is green because obviously it's given them a good 8 point something similarity score. And then my own is 97. So that's why it's shown as red there. So the same thing here, we can annotate it, add our different comments, add some media. So right now I'm going to bring it into original so we can have a look at that there. So all I have to do to access original is while inside the speed grader, I'm just going to give that a click. And that will start opening up original for me. So sometimes it can take just a moment depending on how large the text is. So what I'll actually do is I'm going to go back as well, and I'm going to open myself and Niall's, just kind of give you an overview of how different they look then. This one just be better to show you just because it'll have less on it. There we go. Okay, so this is our analysis overview inside of original. So the easiest way to kind of take this in is, so at the top here, it's telling us, 3 pages out of our 5 pages contain findings of plagiarism. And, it's telling me on page 3 here, this paragraph here, or this line, whatever is orange, on page 4, there's a couple of lines at the top and 1 or 2 at the bottom there the same. And on the 5th page, there's a big chunk there. So a couple of different ways then that we can have a look at these results and interpret them. So if I click on these orange blocks here, it will pop up and show me. So it's showing me like all this text here is coming up as plagiarized. This is the source it's coming from. There's also 2 alternative sources there where it's been found. And then so we have the option there to include that in the analysis or not. So just kind of give you an indication of what that does. If I click on this and I'll turn that off, and that means this is a series of numbers, so I do not want to include this in the plagiarism detection, so I'll just turn that off, and that'll just bring down the plagiarism score just a small bit, because I'm telling the software I'm not classing this as plagiarism for this assignment. So that's just something that you really need to take into consideration when using original. It's always just used as a guide. It'll flag up potential cases of plagiarism, and that's it's bread and butter. It's potential cases. So no matter when you use it or how you use it, you need to come in and just be double checking and reviewing those findings to ensure that it's correct. Because you have to take everything with a little bit of pinch of salt when it comes to plagiarism detection software. So that's one way there. So you can see this has turned the lighter color orange because I have not included it in the analysis then. If I had changed my mind, it turned out, yeah, I actually do need that, just pop that back in there, and you can see it's gone back to the darker orange. So that's one way we can have a look through them. You can click as you need to, have a look at what the different plagiarism is, and decide whether or not you want to turn that on or off. We can also move down here to the finding sections, and we can see there, so we have matching text. You can see there's 5 counts of it there. So we could click in there, and this will give us our text here in this document here. And what we can actually do is, so I've turned that one off, so it's not there, but what we can do then is we can click back and forth, and it's showing me up the matching text here. So I can see in my submitted document, this is the way it's been rolled out, and it's finding the exact same matching text there, and it's telling me the source of where it's found that too. So that's just something that you need to do when you're coming into original, to be just reviewing those different types of plagiarism that's been flagged up as potential. So what we can also do here, this might be useful for anybody that are helping master's students, or anybody submitting thesis really. So you can turn on and off whether you want it to flag up anything in quotes or whether you want it to flag up anything in brackets. So what we just have at the minute is detailed text differences. So that's just flagging all those kind of things. So you can just go through then and see. And as I said, if you are not including anything in your analysis, you can see your similarity report here will start to drop. So these are all the different types of findings. You also have the sources option here. So you can see, like, from this one source, there was 4 different potential plagiarisms flagged. From this one, there was 1. And so that's just another way of looking at it. And then we can also view the entire document. So that's our document there. If we scroll through, it's a very long document, apologies. We can see there that anything in orange is what's been flagged up as plagiarism. So obviously this is kind of a lot of numbers and place names and stuff. It just depends on what's been uploaded. But, you know, had this been an essay or something, you know, this could be an entire paragraph here that's been highlighted as orange, which has been flagged for potential plagiarism. So you just need to go in, have a review of it, decide whether or not you're going to class that as plagiarism, and whether or not to include it in your reports then. So then kind of one of the last things I want to show you is this similarity box here. So this is just back on our first page of the analysis. And so what we can see here is that the receiver's average is around 21%. So that's this high yellow box here, mustardy color looking box. So you can see kind of this is the average that students kind of receive, especially for assignments like this. So this is a little bit of a good indicator. Again, you can't just take anything at face value when it comes to potential plagiarism detection. So you always just need to go in and review that. I just can't stress that enough. But what we can see here is that in this document, there's 7% plagiarism, and where normally it would be kind of be the average of about 21% if the document has not really been plagiarized. So it's still kind of flag up anywhere around that. So, you know, that's just kind of a nice indicator. If, you know, this number had been up, let's go into my one here, just to show you the difference. So this is one that had a huge amount of plagiarism in it. So you can see the whole first page, second page, a lot of the third page, so on and so forth. Anything there that's green on that page, orange on the page, it's flagging up as potential plagiarism, or it's found some matching text. So you can see that all in there. There's no point going back through everything bit by bit with you. So it's just kind of, I'd suggest that you just have a look yourself, because it's the more you get familiar with it, the more comfortable you'll be. And then, so just to show you your similarity box here, so you can see receivers averages here, and this document is very high up, 98. So you can just see that difference there, and it gives you a bit of an indication of the potential plagiarism that has gone into this report or into this assignment. I think that's everything there that I just wanted to show you from original. I'm just going to flick back to my presentation very quickly. Quiz submissions, yeah, I'm going to go to quizzes last actually. And then so we've adding our feedback. So we've had a look at that in SpeedGrader and in the Gradebook. We've had a look at our original reports. So I'm going to go now, I'm going to just give a quick look at reviewing quizzes and the moderate section in there as well. Okay, so this is just our quizzes section of our module. So we can see here that we've only got the one quiz published at the minute. So if I just click into this quiz, the end of semester, there's a couple of ways I could have done that actually. So I could have clicked on these dots here and gone directly into the bills. This is a new enough edition. In the past, you'd have to usually go to edit, scroll down and build, which sometimes out of habit I would still do, but a much quicker way to get to it then is just your three dots straight to your build settings. And so we can see here, this is our quiz that we've set up. We can see here how many points we have for each question. You know, it's set up correctly. We did a session last week on setting up a few bits for the quiz, so you can have a look there if you need to. We also have our settings option. So again, I went through all these last week. So today I just want to show you the moderate section in a little bit of detail there. So in the moderate section, we have all our students' names. We can see each attempt that they've taken for the quiz. We can see their score that they've got, how long they've spent in the quiz, and we can view a log, and if they've had any extra accommodations. And then we also have our moderate section here. So we can see here that myself, you know, I just attempted this quiz once. I got 71.43% in it, and it took 19 seconds. This obviously different to Niall Fahey, so he attempted the quiz 5 different times. 42 was his first attempt. He obviously didn't do very well in the middle, and then 57 was his final attempt. So you can see there how long as well he took for each quiz as well, and then we can view those logs too. So if we wanted to view the log, just to give you an idea, you can see that what time he started it, what time he answered the first couple of questions, and what time he finished it, and how long exactly it took him to finish it. You can just go back there. So that's all that information is really relevant, depending on what you're looking for. So it's all in there. So we can see here that when Lauren was taking the test, so obviously that's myself, I was given the accommodation of an extra 10 minutes. And you can see there that nobody else has any extra accommodations. You can see the Canvas testing had 30 minutes added onto it. And Niles here says +0 because he was given some time and then I took it back. So I was just doing some testing there. So that's why that's coming up as +0. But what we could do then, if we wanted to add some time for someone, so let's just say for Sarah or someone there. So we can add on, so assessment settings, that's set to 8 attempts inside our settings here. But what I can do is I can give her some additional attempts there just in case she needs some, in case that's just what she needs. We also have then, there's a time limit of 2 minutes on this one, so time adjustments, I'm just going to give her some extra time. So Sarah needs an extra 15 minutes to submit this. Once I'm happy with that, I can just click back here and we can see here that Sarah, she's only done her 1 attempt so far and I've given the extra 15 minutes there. So that's just how we can add some extra time and sort that out there. So if we need to adjust our scores or anything for this, all we need to do then is we can just enter the gradebook, find the name of this. So I'll just bring it back there. When we go into the gradebook, we can find the name of that quiz. So here we go, end of semester quiz. And then if all of our results have been moved in here, and if I need to adjust it then, so be it. So, you know, if I looked through Sarah's quiz there and, you know, she actually 80% is a more accurate result for her, I can just add that in there. And then, so another thing then that I just wanted to go through. Oh yeah, so it's using the speed grader, I think it was, inside the quiz. So if I go back into my grade book and I'm opening up this quiz, click here and I'm going to open the quiz within speed grader. So obviously we have our grade book here, kind of gives us a nice big overview, and then our speed grader will open them one by one there so we can have a look. So this is just useful in case you want to know about how to regrade a question. So obviously I was doing some testing here, so the question has been regraded. But if you needed to know, if you had to have a look through and you thought maybe some people deserve some extra points, maybe it's a question that has just like a text box and an answer, so it's elaborating themselves. So what you can do is then you can manually adjust those points in here. So, you know, 3 out of 3 regrade. And now the points is at 3 and so on and so forth. Once we're finished there, we can update that. We can see that our final score has been updated then. And that's just a way then of being able to regrade or add some additional points inside the quiz. So again, you just do that by opening your grade book and opening your quiz inside the speed grader so you can see them one by one. Again, you can flick back and forth this way and see. So you can see I was regrading this one earlier. So for the second question, it was obviously wrong. So, but you know, if I automatically deserve those points anyway. I've changed that, so I actually think, this was flagged as wrong, but they gave enough information that, it's actually correct. And then I can add those points there. So that's just a way of regrading it there. Again, we're just going to update that. We've changed our final score here, and I'm happy enough there, and I can go back into the gradebook. So that's just a way then of adjusting the scores there, and that's how to use the moderate section then inside the quizzes. So the last thing then that I just want to talk to you about then is releasing the results. So I very briefly kind of alluded to this earlier, so I'm just going to bring it back into our gradebook. So most important thing when you're inside the gradebook, when you're inside any module, is to have a look at this little cog here. So this is your settings. And we'll have a look at the grade posting policy. So, we do kind of beat people over the heads with this, but it's just so important. You don't want to have anything set to automatically post grades, obviously for a variety of reasons, but a good example is if people are doing quizzes, they'll automatically get their grade, or instead you probably want to wait until everybody has done the quiz or until you've had a chance to look at them and provide some feedback. So it kind of just goes for everything. So you need to manually post those grades. And that just means you have control over when they go out instead of automatically posting them. So just to kind of show you again, inside the gradebook, into our settings cog, it might start off here. You need to bring it over into the grade posting policy, and we always want to have that set to manual. So if that was set up there, we just want to click here and apply those settings there, and make sure you apply those settings. So that's just how we control the entire gradebook. But then also really important is for the individual assignment, you can set whether or not you want to post those manually or automatically. So same thing, if we just go into our little three dots here, symbolize our different options for the individual assignment or quiz, you can go to the grade posting policy here. Yeah, so the same thing here, you can see that you have the option. This is for this individual assignment, not for the whole entire gradebook, whether we want to automatically post them or manually post them. Same thing again, I want to always have that set to manually so that I have complete control over when those grades go out. So once I know, that's kind of the first thing you should always check in your module, make sure everything's set to manual so you just have complete control. And once you're ready then to post your grades, once everybody's been submitted, so say for argument's sake, everybody has submitted this. And what I want to do then is just post those grades. So it's quite simple. Once you're happy enough that everybody's grades are in, you've given all the feedback that you've needed to give, just post the grades then, and those grades will be posted to the students. So I think that's everything that we needed to go through in this session. If anybody has any questions, please do let me know. You can start thinking of those now. And yeah, anything there that you need to know, just let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to go through our usual support systems while we're waiting. So in Canvas, as always, we have the 24/7 support. So you have telephone support, that's free call as well. You can email them and open up a support ticket. So that's support@instructure.com, or you can use the Canvas help menu item. So this is something that, we recommend a lot. It's really, really helpful. So that's inside Canvas. You have this little help option here. So when you click on that, then you have the different options here. So here's the telephone number here. So it's just giving you that option, or you can open a ticket directly to Canvas. But the main one that I recommend, and I think is one of the best, is the web chat. So you have that for staff and for students. The wait time is typically less than 5 minutes for somebody to come and answer you and give you a hand. So if you're having an issue and you need help quite urgently, and you don't want to submit an email ticket and wait for someone for an hour or two to get back to you or so, this within 5 minutes, somebody will be on to talk you through your issue. So that's just really helpful to know there. As always, then we have our own help documents. So this is our help docs here. So it's obviously the URL here, it's telhelp.eu.helpdocs.com, but also you can get through it from going to our website, tel.cit.ie, tel.cit.ie, and then also this just opens up all our variety of help documents that we have available then. So you can search any different topic that you need, or any different kind of subject or area that you're having issues with. If you can put the keywords in there, it'll bring up any related articles that we have. Otherwise, we have our different sections. So top articles of the month, we have our Canvas, Zoom, assessments, checking in with your learners. There's a huge variety of them there. so there's a whole big section there on original, and so it just depends what you're looking for there. So that's always just a good place to start if you're having an issue with something, because we always try to keep those as up to date and helpful as we can, to make sure that we're covering all the bases there. So that's just how you access that. Let's have our remote teaching downloads, assessment guidelines. And then the last thing that I just wanted to show then is we have our Canvas Learn training for staff. So this is like a little pet project for myself. You know, a lot of us team here worked really hard on this, and we're really happy to be pushing out to staff. So you have your different sections here, getting started in Canvas, accessibility, quizzes, additional supports, third-party tools, feedback grading. There's a huge variety of things here. So it's basically your one-stop shop for Canvas. So we'd really recommend, if you haven't already, to go in there and have a look. Everybody is automatically enrolled on this. And it's just brings you through each different section, kind of gives some examples how to use things, gives some explainers, and we've some interactive content in there. And, you know, if there's something that you think should be in there that we've missed, please reach out and let us know. We're always looking to develop it further. So that's just our Canvas Learn for staff. There is also a version for that for students, just to let you know as well. Same thing, they've all been enrolled on that. And it kind of just goes through all the same things from a student perspective, what they need to know about Canvas or what can be useful for them to know about Canvas. And then we do also have this student assessment guide. So this is useful, you know, coming to the end of the semester and that people need to practice submissions, you know, if they need to do some troubleshooting, they need some just general tips and guides. So those are 3 modules there that are for students and for staff, and that would really encourage everybody to use. So I think that's everything there that I wanted to go through. If anybody has any questions, please do let me know. I'll give it a minute there just for YouTube to catch up in case there's anything coming through there. Thanks a million, everyone. All right, great work. So we'll leave it there. If anybody does, if they're watching this at a later date or anything, or if you think later that you have a question, you can always feel free to email us to edtech@mtu.ie. Just submit a ticket and a member of the team will get back to you then as soon as possible. Thanks a million, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you guys at the next one.